Well, hey guys, we just wanted to do a quick video about how to mix your in-ears. You know, when you're playing in a worship band particularly, that can be a real skill and something that can really either make or break your worship set. If you're confident with your in-ears mix, it'll make a huge difference to how well you play, but it's a bit of an elusive skill thinking about how you actually go about mixing it. So we're going to look we've got an SQ5 at our city centre site, and so we're going to be using the SQ4U app to be mixing some ears today. But if you're at other sites or other churches, of course, you might have a different app, but the principles are all the same. So the first thing to make sure is working is that you're connected to the right Wi-Fi. So I've checked that I'm on the right Wi-Fi, and obviously in Apple you can do that through the settings menu on your phone. Then you want to go to the right app. So I'm going to open up the SQ4U app. And then on the SQ4U app, as you'll see on the video right now, it says demo or other, and then it's seen at our desk, SQ5 at the bottom. So we select that and click connect. Now, the first thing that you want to do once you're in the app is make sure that you're controlling your mix, because there's nothing worse than controlling somebody else's mix when they're on the other side of the stage and you're playing with their mix and nothing's changing for you and everything's changing for them. That's how you don't make many friends. So you want to click in the Mix Select tab right at the top and select the right mix. So today I'm going to imagine that I'm the electric guitar 1. So I've selected that mix, as you can see there, I'm electric guitar 1. Then if you want to, you can then scroll down a little bit and there's a little lock mix icon. So you can click that, which means that you can't accidentally change your mix, which is probably a helpful thing for you. So heading back into the main screen, you'll see that we've got the 4 groups: drums, band, vocals, and me. And then the main volume on the right-hand side. These groups are basically like little submixes. So we'll open up one of these groups, we'll open up drums, and you can see I've selected kick in, kick out, snare top and bottom, rack tom, floor tom, overhead, SPD, and then the snare reverb as well. And you can select anything in any one of these groups. There is a limit on how many you can have in each group, but you just click on the Assign tab in the top corner, and you can scroll through all the tracks, all the channels, and select the ones that you want in that group. So if we head back, you've seen the drums one, there's a band one just there, you just double click to get in them, and there's all those. Vocals, I've got the vocal mics, the service mics like the handhelds and the headset, the ambient mics, and I've got the vocal reverb in there as well. And then on the me group is things that I'm going to want access to a lot of the time. So that's my own guitar in this case, the click, the cues, the MD, and that's all I've got in there at the moment. But as I say, you can have whatever you want in any of these groups, but work out a system that works for you and probably try and keep it the same each time so that you know where things are. So the first thing is to get yourself happy with your own volume. So you want it to be able to confidently hear yourself. So the best way of doing that I've found is find your channel and turn yourself up to maybe just around the 0 level, maybe just below the 0 level. So I'm going to do that now. So once you've done that, you want to make sure that your pack is the right volume. Is your guitar or your bass or your vocal or whatever actually loud enough for you right now? So you can just change I'm using a wireless belt pack right now. You can change the volume of that to be able to hear comfortably what you want to, however loud you want to hear yourself. So then after that, we want to try and get the click in. That's probably the next most important thing. So once you've got yourself at a volume that works for you, add in the click and probably the MD to a comfortable volume. Let's do that now. So there's my guitar, adding some click in. I'd say that was probably a comfortable volume. Now I can clearly hear the click, I can clearly hear myself, so that's a good start. The cues we don't actually have separate right now, but we will do soon. And then have the MD in there as well, so you can hear their cues.
Chorus again.
Great, okay, so we've got ourselves, we've got the click and the MD. Where to go next? Well, you want probably a little bit of everything else. So you might want to add in some drums first, maybe then some bass, maybe the other electric guitarist, the keys, the vocals and that sort of thing. So let's do that.
6, 5.
There's the kick drum.
5.
Bridge 2, 3.
Bit of snare.
6. 2.
Put in some toms for when he plays them and just a little bit of overheads.
5.
And I know that we're going to use the SPD as well at some point, so we'll put that up even though they're not playing it right now. I might actually add a little bit of snare verb in there as well. Okay, that's the drums mixed. Let's go and find the rest of the band. So I'm going to add the bass in next. So you just be thinking, can I still hear myself clearly? At the moment, I'm happy with that volume. So add in a little bit of the other electric guitar. A little bit of the tracks.
Bridge 2,
4. 1 over 3. 6.
And a bit of keys.
5.
Bit of pads. And a bit of acoustic guitar as well. And then lastly, just some vocals.
6. 2. 5.
3 chords.
Down.
So now we've got a bit of a mix set up, and we can think, is that the mix that I'm looking for? I think probably for me the vocals maybe a touch loud at the moment.
Chorus again.
And maybe a touch too much bass as well. So I'll go and find the bass, and I'll bring that down slightly. Okay, so that's our mix. We can clearly hear ourselves, we can clearly hear everyone, but the separation is a little bit tricky. Yeah, we can't hear everything very clearly. So really key tip for that is panning. So panning is when you either have it to your left ear or your right ear or in the center or somewhere in between, which means that you can separate stuff out. So I'm playing electric over on this side of the stage, and then there's another electric guitarist on that side of the stage. So I'm gonna pan my electric slightly to my left and the other electric quite a lot to my right. Let's do that. So I'll find my own channel and pan that to the left.
5.
And then I'll find the other electric guitarist and put them almost all the way to the right. Now you can also do this with drums, so let's have a look at that. I'd keep the kick and the snare right down the middle, and then I'd pan the toms slightly, so in different directions so you can hear them. And then lastly, a really key thing to do it for is vocals. I like to pan my vocals like geographically almost, so they're the one that's to my left or leftmost of me goes on my left, and right and further towards the right as they go away to the right. So let's pan those vocals.
1 over 3. 6.
So suddenly you can hear things a lot better. You can clearly hear my guitar on the left side. The lead vocal is just a little bit to the left side as well, but the click and the cues and the key drum elements and the bass, they're straight down the middle. So there you go, that's a quick way of doing that. Other things you might want to think about is ambient mics, as we spoke about before, so I've got them here. You don't want them too hot, otherwise they might distract from your mix, but you do want to be able to hear the congregation. And other things like effects. So I'm going to add a little bit of vocal effects in. Brilliant, okay. I'm quite happy with that mix, but what happens if I suddenly can't hear myself anymore? I've done all that, and I just need to hear myself a little bit more. Well, remember we put the level just below 0? Now we've got headroom to be able to push that fader up. So let's go and find that electric guitar, and I'm going to bring that up.
Bridge 2, 3, 4.
So there you go. There's an in-ears mix which works for me, and there's some basic principles which will hopefully work for you too. If you've got any questions at any point, of course, you can ask your sound guy, who will hopefully know how to do that on the day, but this would be a good start. So there you go. Hopefully that gives you a really good idea of how to mix your ears, and we look forward to worshiping together in the future. Take care.